You probably think your cabin steward loves how tidy you keep your cruise room, but there's a secret list of 14 things that push them to the edge, and nearly every guest is guilty. From leaving the Do Not Disturb sign up all day, derailing the cleaning schedule for 25 cabins, to a single flush of the wrong item causing toilet chaos on half a deck, cruise ship secrets, 14 things your cabin steward secretly hates your doing exposes the hidden rules and real consequences you never imagined. Some of these habits can spark a chain reaction across an entire ship, and you might not even know you started it. Why do the smallest mistakes create the biggest headaches at sea? Let's pull back the curtain on what really happens when you close your stateroom door. Let's kick things off with a classic move that almost every cruiser has made, sometimes without even thinking. You're heading out for the day, maybe to grab breakfast or catch an early excursion, and you spot that cute little Do Not Disturb sign hanging by the door. It feels polite, right? You hang it up just in case you want to sneak back for a nap or avoid the morning rush. But here's the part nobody tells you. On a cruise ship, that sign is not a suggestion. It's more like a force field. The moment it's up, your cabin steward is legally barred from stepping inside. Even if they see you waving goodbye down the hall, even if they know you're off the ship for hours, the rules are ironclad. No entry, no exceptions. Cruise lines take this so seriously that stewards can't even crack the door for a quick towel drop-off. Carnival's policy, for example, spells it out. With the snoozin' sign hanging, housekeeping is forbidden to enter. Period. Royal Caribbean's magnets say the same thing. Disney even swapped out Do Not Disturb for Room Occupied, but the meaning is the same. For the entire time that sign is up, your room is off limits. Now, this might sound like a win for privacy, but it creates a domino effect that most passengers never see. Your steward isn't just cleaning your cabin. They're working a route of 20, sometimes 25 rooms, all in a tight window. They plan their day like a puzzle, moving from one door to the next in a set order. When even one room is blocked by a Do Not Disturb sign, it throws off the whole route. They have to skip you, circle back later, and hope you've remembered to take the sign down. Multiply that by a few cabins, and suddenly, half the hallway is out of sync. And here's the kicker. If you leave the sign up all day, your room simply won't get serviced. No fresh towels, no made bed, no trash pickup. It doesn't matter if you're at the pool or halfway to a snorkeling tour. The sign is the law. Some guests come back in the afternoon and wonder why the room still looks like a tornado hit it. The answer? You told your steward to stay out and they have to listen. So what's the move? If you want your room cleaned, just remove the sign before you head out. Or if your ship has a make up room indicator, flip that instead. You'll make your steward's life easier, your room will stay fresh, and you'll avoid the awkward dance of wondering why nothing got done. On a cruise, a little sign packs a lot of power, so use it wisely. Alright, let's talk about the number one way to throw a wrench into your steward's day: hovering, pacing, and popping in before your room is ready. Picture this. Your steward has a mental GPS for the morning, plotting a perfect route from cabin to cabin. Supplies are staged, carts are loaded, and every stop is timed down to the minute. Now you show up at the door and ask, "When's my room going to be done?" Or worse, you slip in early, suitcase in tow, while they're halfway through making the bed. Suddenly, that careful plan unravels. Here's what most guests don't realize. A single interruption doesn't just cost a few minutes. It kicks off a chain reaction. Studies on cruise ships and in hotels show that every time a steward is stopped mid-task, whether to answer questions, let you in, or wait while you grab your sunscreen, it takes an average of 20 minutes to get the whole route back on track. That's because each room isn't just a box to clean. There's a sequence. Strip the beds, restock the towels, sanitize the bathroom, restage the supplies. If a steward has to stop and move their cart, or re-sterilize a bathroom because someone walked in, they're not just losing time. They're losing their rhythm for every room after yours. On busy embarkation days, it gets even messier. Stewards might have 20, even 25 cabins to flip before new guests board. Supplies are lined up in the hallway, and every lost minute means someone else's room is delayed. One guest hovering in the hallway, waiting for the all clear, can throw off the entire floor. Multiply that by a handful of eager passengers, and the dominoes start to fall. By the end of the shift, those little interruptions add up to hours of lost time. Meaning, some guests walk into rooms that aren't fully ready, or stewards have to rush and risk missing details. Some cruise lines have tried to fix this with service indicators, simple signs or lights you can flip to say, "Ready for service." These help, but only if you use them and then let the crew do their thing. The best move? Trust the process. If your room isn't ready yet, head to lunch, explore the ship, or relax by the pool. Your steward is working a route, not a random order. The more you let them stick to their plan, the faster everyone gets settled. And if you really want to make their day, save your questions for when they're not elbow deep in fresh sheets. A little patience keeps the whole ship running smoother, and your steward's mental GPS right on course. Okay, this one might surprise you because it's a mistake made by some of the most polite and well-intentioned guests. You've used a towel, and in an effort to be tidy, you neatly fold it and hang it back on the rack. Maybe you even stack it with the clean ones, thinking you're helping out. But here's the problem. Your steward has absolutely no idea if that towel is fresh or used. Folded towels look clean, so they might get rehung or left for the next day. That means you could be drying off with yesterday's sunscreen, sand, or, let's be honest, something much worse. Now, let's get into the real crime scene. Makeup, self-tanner, and hair dye on white towels. Those bright coral lipstick stains? The orange streaks from bronzer? They don't just vanish in the wash. Cruise lines use industrial laundry, but some stains are permanent. When that happens, the cost of replacing ruined towels gets charged to the steward's supply area. The more stained towels, the more it eats into their department's budget, and sometimes their own tips. Laundry logs even track which cabin sections rack up the most ruined linens, and stewards can get blamed for not catching the mess in time. So, what's the fix? If it's used, toss it in the tub or on the floor. That's the universal sign for please replace. And if you know you'll be taking off makeup or using products that stain, pack a dark washcloth or a makeup remover cloth from home. It saves the white towels, saves your steward a headache, and keeps everyone's budget in the clear. A little clarity goes a long way. Tidy isn't always helpful if it leaves your steward guessing. Let's get real about the cups and glasses in your cabin. Some guests think rinsing out yesterday's coffee mug or reusing a wine glass for water is a clever way to cut down on clutter. But here's the rub. Cruise ships follow strict sanitation rules, stricter than most hotels on land. According to CDC Vessel Sanitation Program standards, once a cup or plate has been used, it can't just be rinsed and put back. It needs a full cycle in a commercial dishwasher with high heat and sanitizer before it's safe to touch your lips again. That quick rinse in the bathroom sink? Not even close. Now imagine you stash a sticky glass in a drawer or stack dirty plates on the desk, thinking you'll tidy up later. Your steward has to hunt them down, sort the clean from the contaminated, and sometimes even report missing items to inventory. Worse, if you hide a broken glass or a chipped mug, you're not just making extra work, you're creating a safety hazard. One hidden shard can mean a cut hand and a trip to the medical center, plus a whole lot of paperwork for your steward. So, what's the smart move? Leave your used dishes out in plain sight or call for pickup if you've had a spill or breakage. Never try to hide damage or reuse anything that's touched food or drink. If you need more glassware, just ask. Your steward is happy to bring extras. Their job is to keep you safe and healthy, not play detective with yesterday's leftovers. Help them out and you'll both have a smoother cruise. Now let's talk about the towel animal craze. You know the ones. Little elephants, monkeys, maybe even a lobster perched on your bed after dinner. Passengers love them, and for good reason. They're cute, they're fun, and they make for the perfect vacation photo. But here's what most guests never realize. Those towel animals take serious skill and a surprising amount of time. Carnival started the tradition back in 1991, and since then, it's become a staple across the cruise world. Each steward clocks over 10 hours of training just to master the basics, and some can whip up a puppy or a swan in under 5 minutes flat. Multiply that by thousands of cabins, and you're looking at millions of towel animals made every year. Carnival alone folds up about 10 million annually. Here's where it gets tricky. Some guests, caught up in the excitement, start making special requests. Can I get a dolphin tonight? How about a towel sloth hanging from the curtain rod? While it sounds harmless, those custom orders pile up fast and eat away at the precious minutes stewards have to clean, restock, and prep every single room on their route. Remember, most are sprinting between 20 and 25 cabins each shift. Every extra animal means less time for the essentials: fresh linens, sparkling bathrooms, and clean glasses. So, what's the best way to enjoy the towel zoo? Treat it as a surprise, not a menu. If you love your towel animal, let your steward know with a thank you or even a small tip. Just resist the urge to request a full safari. Behind every folded elephant is an artist racing the clock, hoping to make your day just a little more magical without turning their shift into a marathon. Picture this: You're sipping a drink on your balcony, soaking in the view, and you set your glass down for just a second. Maybe you think, it's outside, what's the harm? Or maybe you hang a soaking wet towel right over the balcony rail to dry in the sun. Here's what really happens next. That spilled soda or wine doesn't just vanish, it drips down to the deck below, landing on someone else's clothes, their book, or even their breakfast. And those wet towels? Water runs off, soaks the rail, and keeps going, straight onto the neighbor's balcony, sometimes even into their open door. Balcony spills and wet towels aren't just a mess, they're a magnet for problems. Sticky drinks attract ants and other pests, especially when the ship is docked at port. Crew have seen entire colonies swarm a balcony after one sugary spill. Worse, property damage complaints start flying. Stained cushions, ruined electronics, and angry guests who had no idea where the mystery drip came from. If you have a spill, call for cleanup right away. Don't try to hose it off yourself. For towels, keep them on the bathroom rack or toss them on the floor if you want a fresh one. Never, ever hang them over the rail. On a cruise ship, what goes overboard doesn't just disappear. It usually lands right on your neighbor. Alright, let's talk toilets. And trust me, this is the one subject every cruise ship engineer wishes you'd take seriously. Cruise ship toilets aren't like the ones at home. They're powered by a high-pressure vacuum system, a kind of mini airlock that uses just half a liter of water per flush. That's great for saving water, but it means the pipes are narrow, the pressure is intense, and the whole system is a lot more sensitive than you'd expect. Here's the nightmare scenario. One person flushes a so-called flushable wipe, a sanitary product, or a plastic cup. It doesn't dissolve. Instead, it gets sucked into the pipe and jams the works. Because cabins are stacked in vertical lines, a single blockage can knock out the toilets for every cabin above and below, sometimes 10 or more rooms in one shot. Suddenly, you've got a line of angry neighbors, a maintenance crew in hazmat suits, and a plumber with a hacksaw trying to find the clog. The record for one wipe? 10 cabins out of commission for 5 hours. This isn't just embarrassing, it's a technical disaster. The ship's engineers have to cut into the pipes, dig out the blockage, and then rebuild the whole section, all while everyone's waiting to use the bathroom. And every minute they spend fixing it means less time for routine maintenance, more overtime, and sometimes even compensation for affected passengers. So if you're ever tempted to flush anything but ship-provided toilet paper, remember, one wrong move can take out half a deck. Keep it simple. Only human waste and the paper provided. Everything else goes in the trash can. Your cabin steward, your neighbors, and the entire engineering team will thank you. Getting locked out of your cabin isn't just a minor headache for you, it's a major speed bump for your steward and the ship's security team. Here's what actually happens when you leave your key inside or let the balcony door slam shut behind you. Your steward has to drop whatever they're doing, track down a supervisor, and call in security. It's not as simple as a quick swipe. Most cruise lines require a 2-person team for every unlock, both for safety and to keep a record. The whole process can take 15 to 20 minutes, especially if security's busy or the crew is stretched thin. Meanwhile, your steward's careful schedule is thrown off. With 20 to 25 cabins to handle, that lost time means someone else's room might get rushed or left waiting. And if it happens more than once, the dominoes start to fall fast. Now think about what that means for the people helping you. Stewards are away from their families for 6 months at a time, working long hours to keep your vacation running smoothly. Every unexpected detour eats into the small pockets of rest they have. Crew morale studies show that frequent interruptions, like lockouts or repeated requests, chip away at job satisfaction and make those long contracts feel even longer. There's an easy fix. Always keep your key with you, and never fully close the balcony door if you're alone. A little attention saves everyone a lot of hassle. And here's the part that matters most. Kindness travels far. Smile, say thank you, use your steward's name, and tip fairly at the end of your cruise. Those small gestures mean more than you know. Behind every clean towel and made bed is a real person, doing their best to make your trip unforgettable. According to cruise industry records, a single cabin steward may be responsible for as many as 25 rooms per day. As this documentary has shown, small guest actions, like leaving a Do Not Disturb sign up, flushing prohibited items, or using white towels for makeup, can have far-reaching impacts, from blocked plumbing affecting entire decks to permanent stains counted against a crew member's record. Crew schedules, sanitation protocols, and guest policies documented by major cruise lines all confirm these pressures. Yet, certain details remain undisclosed, such as the internal metrics cruise lines use to evaluate cabin staff performance or the exact number of annual plumbing failures caused by guest error. What is clear from available evidence is that the comfort of every passenger depends on both policy and cooperation. Even as crew members work months away from home, their ability to maintain safe, welcoming cabins relies on clear communication and guest awareness. The reality is simple. Every small decision in your stateroom connects to the well-being of the crew, fellow guests, and the entire ship.